When I was 14, Steichen was the director of the photography department at the Modern. I think because I didn't know any better, I didn't have the social perspective to know you can't just call up Steichen and say, I want to show you my work. I did just that, and perhaps if I were 40, he wouldn't have seen me, but I guess he didn't get many phone calls from kids. And I had an appointment with him, and he bought 3 of the pictures for the Modern. I was going to high school in New York. I became increasingly less interested in school. My last year, I had essentially stopped attending. I was interested in classical music, and I got a job as the photographer for an orchestra that had weekly concerts at Carnegie Hall and Philharmonic Hall. I became interested in film and the history of film, and was going to, on the average, of 2 films a day, and doing my own photography. And if you don't go to school, you in fact have a lot of free time to do all this. I mean, you can go to a couple of movies in the morning, and then after lunch, go out and take pictures. I made a film that year. This would be in the fall of '64. That was shown at a theater called the Filmmakers Cinematheque, the same night that Andy Warhol showed one of his movies. And I was introduced to him afterward. This is a couple of years after Andy had done the Marilyns and the Lizzes and the Brillo boxes and the soup cans. He was already very well known in New York. And I asked him if I could come to the factory and photograph, and he said yes. And I started going there every day, and at that point realized I couldn't maintain in any way the pretense that I was a student. I mean, I could sit with my school blazer in classes that I had absolutely no interest in, or I could hang out at the factory. So I dropped out and started going to the factory every day. And so that's what I did instead of going to college. 3 years on and off at the factory. I will say that I wasn't thinking, as I entered into this, what an incredible education I'll have. I was thinking, this is a lot of fun. As I look back on my time at the factory and think, what did I learn from that? I think when people think of the factory, they think of parties every day, and we went out every night. But every afternoon, Andy worked. Some artists like to work in solitude. Other artists like to draw energy from people around them. And Andy was the latter type. He would draw people in to his process, ask you what you think of this color he was playing with for the cow wallpaper. Not that he would possibly care what a 17-year-old kid would think, but this helped get people around him focused on what he was doing, and I think he used that energy as his creative energy. But the result for me was I got to see an artist day after day, again and again, making aesthetic decisions, and began to understand art making as partially a result of a series of these decisions and choices.